and we are now at this level where we're talking about housing, affordable housing for that matter, and as well we'll be talking some bit about the question of entertainment. Every presidential candidate today, in their manifesto has incorporated, or they all have incorporated the question of housing. It is because there's this dire need of making sure that the population, as it grows very fast, people are able to enjoy shelter over their heads. But questions linger as to how this can be achieved. It has been looked at as an expensive affair, and therefore very few people have the privilege right here in the country of enjoying a situation where they have their own houses. And in studio I have a face that is not so new, George Mboro. George Mboro is the CEO of Mizizi Africa Homes. For the longest time, I know we've been talking to him, and we constantly try to come up with ideas of how best we can have Kenyans owning homes. And while it appears like it's an easy thing, John Mboro, I'll tell you for sure that it's not so easy. As well, while it appears like it's quite a tough thing, it's just that people lack knowledge on the available mechanisms of making sure that they are homeowners. And so as we get to this conversation, we start off with politics. You have had Baba's manifesto, which is the only one that we've gotten today. He speaks hugely of the Big Four agenda, well, in as much as he did not say it's about the Big Four agenda. And therein sits the question of affordable housing. President Uhuru Kenyatta has promised this. He's almost exiting the stage, having not achieved what he would have wished, in terms of making sure that Kenyans have a roof over their head. What would you make when we're talking about affordable housing today? Sure. And why would we trust these leaders that such can be achieved?
Sure. Yeah, thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to be back. It's been a while.
Yes.
And I'm happy at least I'm back.
Karibu sana.
Yeah, santeni sana. Yeah, and I will start by saying that where there is will, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. So this question of people owning affordable homes is very important, because for sure when people have their own homes, they have peace of mind. They're able to look for food, they're able to educate children, they're able to give health care. So actually for me, out of all those agendas, the most important is housing. Housing is very crucial, because with housing, the others become much easier. So if you're able to crack this big agenda of housing, and we basically know all the agendas, the Big Four agendas, they were carved from the Vision 2030. Yeah. We as a country, we desire to be a country that is a developed country, or at least a middle income earner, whereby everybody has a decent kind of living. People are able to access good houses with security, they have water, they have electricity, a basic good house. Yeah, so that is a desire, and if we are able to have a majority of the people having their own homes and their own houses, decent homes, for sure we can be able to brag that for sure we are a country that is a middle income earner, a country that can rely on itself, a country that is stable, a country that is a good place to be and to live here. Sure.
If you by any chance sat, with the team or in the team of these that seek to be the country's next CEOs, or the next CEO, so to speak, and you were to advise them on the question of housing. Sure. And I'm not here to interview you in that sense, but if you were to advise the country on how best we can attain the question of affordable housing for its people, or for the people, what would be the mechanism that you would suggest?
Sure. Yeah, thank you very much. And affordable housing, as already is envisaged, is whereby people are called upon to be players as well. Because this is not something that the government can do on its own, while the people are just sitting and waiting. We have to incorporate the masses. For one, the masses and the public and the Kenyans are the people that we want to help. So the government, what I can encourage maybe the other government is to incorporate the people. There was a motion whereby people who are employed, they were being required to be contributing a certain amount, so that that amount eventually you can get a house.
And most of the people really were against that.
Yeah, the reason why people were against it is because it was kind of like a gamble. Because we do not clearly understand, yes, I'm being deducted this amount of money, and you know, with Kenya, with corruption, you know,
right.
How sure am I that this money that I'm being deducted, it may be a few amount, maybe it was being said 1.5%, but how sure am I after maybe being deducted this amount for all my working lives, my working life, I'll get a house. That is why people were opposed. They were not opposed to the idea itself. They were opposed to that notion will be cut, but at the end of the day, it's like a gamble. I'm not very sure, but if something that can that is very workable can be laid out, and this can be done very easily, if the private developers can be well roped in that agenda, let the private players be in the forefront. Let us have policies, let us have mechanisms, let's have ways, so that like for example, as Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, we are known, and now we are given the support, the enabling support, the enabling environment, and we are told, for you Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, deal with this category of people. And we as the government, we are going to facilitate you, we are going to assist you to get land that is affordable. We are going to have infrastructure passing there, because you know, issues of roads, electricity, sewer lines, those are big challenges. The government tells us, we are going to give you, and the security. We are going to give you security, have your own people. Deal with this category of people as Mizizi, particularly have this category of people. Then another company have this category of people. Then we have that enabling environment, and then the cost of materials, they are subsidized. Now we have land, which is our biggest headache, acquiring a piece of land. Then we have infrastructure, electricity, roads, which is also our biggest headache. We have security. Then we also look at the construction, cost of construction materials. Let's say things like steel, cement, all these things. Right. Because what we are doing is something that is basic. Some of these things can be looked at just the same way we look at bread. Don't tax for the private developers who are giving these affordable homes. Hold
it right there, George. And I think that is very, very important. We need to take a short break, and we come back on that very note on how best then there can be that enhancement of public-private partnership, especially when it comes to the question of us getting affordable housing, or generally when it comes to the question of housing, after this break.
TV47 Country Ride brings you the great country music entertainment show. The sound of goodbye. Dust your boots, put your hats, and ride the night with us. Up from San Antonio. Yes, from all regions in Kenya. Country Ride gives you the best musical experience to you and your family. She's the lead. Bring out the best of country magical moments by celebrating our fans' music, powered by DJ Stiga and host CK the Cowgirl.
Watch the Country Ride every Sunday, 10 p.m. to 12 a.m.
only on TV47, the home of great entertainment.
Let's ride to the night together.
This
sio upishi tu, kikiwa kitamu kisha kipakuliwa.
TV47 Country Ride brings you the great country music entertainment show. The sound of goodbye. Dust your boots, put your hats, and ride the night with us. Up from San Antonio. Yes, from all regions in Kenya. Country Ride gives you the best musical experience to you and your family. She's the lead. Bring out the best of country magical moments by celebrating our fans' music, powered by DJ Stiga and host CK the Cowgirl.
Watch the Country Ride every Sunday, 10 p.m. to 12 a.m.
Only on TV47, the home of great entertainment.
Let's ride to the night together.
This is The Grind. Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. T.S. Eliot.
So I decided, let me just take this up, put the teaching on hold first. Let me try see where this can go.
I mean, the opportunities are a lot. But is that all you need? Oh wait, there's more. This seems a little too much. Let's slow it down.
You do this is something you do out of passion.
Join me, Violet Njoki, as I navigate through the maze of the increasingly dynamic business environment and quiet down the noises. As I help you flourish in business every Monday at 7:30 p.m.
All right, welcome back to the broadcast. Still with me, Judge Boro of Mizizi Africa Homes. Mizizi Africa Homes is a conglomeration of lots of entities therein, but hugely about the question of housing. And so we speak of housing this morning, private entity that seeks to join in with a government to make sure that as a people then we can own homes. Sometimes I keep asking myself, what if we all own homes? Then what happens to Mizizi Africa Homes? But that's not possible. We have a long way to go, and that's the reason why I asked this morning, what will it take for the government to enhance this relationship between them, that is the public, and now the private entities, for us to make these processes seamless for the people of Kenya to confidently have a chance of owning their homes. Now that we know ours is a question where you get your land, it's not a question of leasing, and so when you get this home, you get this land, then it's yours in totality.
Sure. Yeah, thank you very much, and you have touched something very important, that what would happen if everybody had their own home.
Yes.
Yeah, and what would happen if children were not being born? You see, with the homes,
the population grows every
population
day.
increase,
Yeah.
there is no any one time that we are going to not need homes. Just the same way we need food. You cannot say, I have eaten now, you will not eat again. Now, when you come to the relationship, the government and the private developers, for sure, I'm happy that we have people like you, TV47, who are telling the untold stories. And some of these things, they're actually not so difficult. It all takes to bring everybody on board. Let's have this kind of a conversation. Let's brainstorm. Because, like for example, we Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, we may not have the full solution, but we have a suggestion. So if other private developers, like Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, all of us, we come around the table. We give our ideas as Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, as I have given. If the private developers are given that opportunity to be the drivers and the government be the enabler, for sure it is possible. Yeah. And because there are so many people who need houses, there are so many sectors that need houses, all these private developers, everybody is assigned theirs. Yours will be this one, yours will be this one. And for sure, once we meet, we can start by looking at the people who have pensions. Because we have people who have been working their entire life, and now they are going to retirement, and they do not have homes. Yeah. So you imagine those people, you have already condemned them, because you may have given them maybe a few shillings, let's say 2 million, 3 million, even 10 million. But that money, you have told them to go and now start learning how to develop, because they have maybe worked all their life. Yeah. You can imagine outside there, because of the also lack of joblessness and people not having money, you come there with even 10 million. I'm telling you, you will find rogue people before you even realize your money has finished. Yeah. And it's very sad, and you can imagine that money now you have nothing to show. Right. Or you can imagine maybe that somebody starts a business. What we need to do is we need now to start thinking from the end. Okay. What will happen once we have an aged population that is not housed? Those people, we are condemning them to an early grave, depression, sickness, Yeah, very bad things. So let us look at the end. And here at the bottom, we have young people who are very energetic. They are looking for work. They are willing to work. They are ready. They have the time. They have the energy, and they are not being utilized. So the issue of affordable housing is very important because it brings employment.
Yeah.
It brings the issue of manufacturing. It brings even the issue of food security, because when farmers are farming and they are able to sell their food to people who are productive, who are working, you see they are also motivated even to do agricultural.
Yeah.
And by default, health automatically is sorted because people basically they become sick because of a poor diet, not having food. And lastly, we have the issue of security. The issue of security comes about mostly because of lack of job opportunities. So if housing is done and is done the proper way, it is not just about people not paying rent. It is so broad such that the government needs to have a serious look at it. And for sure, if the next administration will give it its best, for sure it will have performed by default.
All right, that's amazing. And you know, people really do not, and you know, we have spoken about this, but we do not tire of speaking of the same. There's a general mentality out there that owning a home is quite an expensive affair. And so even those ones that begin work, they wait until they have a certain level of salary for them now to start thinking owning a home. I mean, what can you tell this population that is totally convinced that don't even start thinking about a house, because after all, the money that you're getting really is not.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much. What we can do, we can learn from those who have done it. We can learn from, for example, personally, I like listening to old people who have their own homes and who are comfortable. And I ask them, when did you start? What happened? Because sometimes young people, we are so focused with looking for work, working, hustling, and we do not have time to sit down and even seek for an opinion from somebody who has walked the journey. Young people assume the old people, they were born old, but they have gone through the same cycle that the young people are going through. So it's important for young people, let's learn to be talking to people who have gone through it. And sometimes you find young people, if somebody has not made it, you are not even ready to listen to them. Maybe they made a problem, and that problem they can assist you so that you run away from the same. You do not have to go through the same. So what I can encourage, and I have been doing that, talking to people who have had the experience, who have gone through it, either positive or negative. If it's positive, you can adopt. If it's negative, you learn not to follow suit. So if we look from the example of the old people, let's look for example, people who have made it. Those people, they started earning. You hear they were forming the chamas. They come together, maybe it's a group of people who they start contributing something. They buy a chunk of land that is so interior when they are young people. And at this time now, that place that was so interior, it is what now they are selling handsomely, because already bypasses are there. Their roads have passed there. Like, they are the people now who are selling, like, let's say to us, Mrs. Africa Homes Limited, some of this land. You find an old mzee selling to you a parcel of land, an acre, so expensively, and you asked him, hey, how did you manage to buy it? He tells you, I bought it a long time ago when I was young, like you, and I didn't even know there was going to be a good road here. And that's how, actually 70, you hear I bought it 70,000, which is not long ago, in the 1990s. Even
but we also have had people who've had depression because they bought land, and then before you know it, you're being told, hii ni barabara, and so inafaa kukatwa. What is the wisdom that goes into making sure that you're buying legit land, land that is not going to have more than 5 owners at a point in time, land that you're going to get the right documentation for, so that even when it comes to time where you want to sell it or utilize it, then you have the confidence that you've done the right thing.
Thank you very much. You will realize that land, because of its scarce resource nature, it's a scarce resource. So if something is not there in huge, it gets a lot of interest.
Right.
So many people have interest. And that's why, you know, in land, that is where you can be conned. That's when you can give your money and to brokers, even the owner, you do not, those things have been there since time immemorial, and those are not things to discourage somebody who needs a house or a home or a land. What you need to do is you need to do your proper due diligence. You need to make use of professionals. For example, if you want to buy anything, it's important you do. You get, are there the proper documentations? Yes, they are there. You do a search, and nowadays it's very easy. Nowadays we have a land registry all over in the counties. You just go there, they will look for you, they'll be able to tell you this is the true owner. Then again, you go to the Survey of Kenya, which is also very open, it's very public. Go buy the map for that area, and you can ask a few questions. Is it a public land? Is there a road that will be passing there? And again, you do not have to be discouraged, or because if you have the proper titles, even if a road was to pass there, those are the people you hear a road passed. They were compensated handsomely. They're not only
with the current value.
Yeah, current value.
Yeah.
So you find even if your land eventually a road passes, if it was not originally allocated to be a road, for sure it will be compensated.
Well, that's true. Wanjiko Maina speaks and says, hi Linda, I am young and new in employment, and I'd really love to start thinking of how best I can make this land investment and own a home at some point in time. Would you care to share George's number so that maybe I can reach out to him and we can walk this journey together? Thank you so much for bringing such sessions. That's an amazing yes. Wanjiko, George will be giving out his number in a bit. And so as we come to a close, George, what is your expectation of what will be the next dispensation and crop of leadership across, you know, the next government in terms of making sure that the conversation of housing is progressive for the people?
Yeah, thank you very much. For me, my focus would be on the people and the individuals who we need the homes, because the government already in this Jubilee administration, they have shown that houses is very important, because they have outrightly given the statistics. 2 million houses deficit already existing, and every year 200 houses needed each and every year. So now it is upon us to start, we as the people, doing it. The government, it has started. It has maybe not managed. But now, since it has started, let us take it up from where it has started. Let us continue doing it. And within no time, you find that the government, at times, it does what the people want. And you will find even most of the policies that are passed, it is whereby people have really spoken. So the government, once it sees the need of the people and the desire to own homes and the role they are playing, for sure it will have no choice but to make sure that they have given it the serious thought. So my encouragement is to the people and young people like the lady who has just spoken. Let us start it. We can join hands as young people. We buy a chunk of land, we subdivide. Let us show the government that for sure we need it, we have that need, and automatically it is also going to support.
That's true.
Yeah, so my encouragement is to ask the people, because this is a role that we cannot leave only to the government, because the government has so many other roles that they do. But we as the people, if we take that initiative, everybody now starts thinking of how they can have their own land. We are going to have even policies that are protecting the people, because you find like now, there are people who have been scammed, they have gone, nothing has been done, they have not been refunded their money. So you find that some of these things, if many people are actively involved, there will be laws and ways to protect and to come up with ways to mitigate some of those rogue people. The Ministry of Land will be very active. That's transfer of titles, subdivisions, all those policies will be automatic, because if the public is crying, for sure the government normally listens. Okay, well, amazing. Your contacts and how they get a hold of Mizizi Africa Homes before we close. Yeah, thank you very much. You can reach to us, Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, through our phone call 020-790-2215. I say that again, 020-790-2215. Or you can come visit us in our offices, which are located in Westlands, opposite Sarit Center. There you'll find us, Mizizi Africa Homes Limited. Then you can send us an email on info@miziziafricahomes.com. That is info@miziziafricahomes.com. Or you can visit all our social media platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. All there you will find us, Mizizi Africa Homes.
Thank you so much, George Boro. Mizizi Africa Homes, like I said, is a home that does a couple of other things, including music and so much more. Reach them out and start that journey to owning a home as early as now. Asante sana. I hope you got that, Wanjiru, and any other person who would wish to begin this journey. Remember, we still have cake vouchers from Valentine's Cake House. One is already gone. There's a person who's dropped a message right here. Hi, Linda. Being Men's Mental Awareness Month, I want to get a cake for my dad to celebrate him for just being able to hold us down and appreciate him. Thank you. You did not leave your name, but gladly I have your number, and therefore we'll be reaching out to you. Well, let's just celebrate men out there. It's on rare occasions that people get to celebrate their dads, and this is quite breathtaking. So one cake gone, we still have this other one waiting for you. Drop any comment, tell us why you should get this cake, and we'll definitely be sure to, be here to give you. It's a cake that you can get across all the Valentine Cake House, branches in the country. There are so many, and it lasts for about a month or two. The voucher is valid for about a month or two, and therefore even if you pick it today, it will still be valid